I want to start this out by asking you two questions. If tomorrow wasn't promised, what would you give for today? Are you truly living the life that you want to live? I learned at a very young age that tomorrows are not promised, and your life can be changed in a blink of an eye. At the age of 19, I was involved in an automobile accident, July 3rd, 2011. Prior to waking up face down in the middle of the road, I remember this brightest white light, almost as if I was staring into the sun. And then I woke up to my buddy screaming, "Hold on, the ambulance is coming." Still takes my breath away to think back to that day. But I could not move anything. Couldn't move my arms, couldn't move my legs. I couldn't turn my head. I had no idea what I did. I knew I screwed up, but I had no idea. And I had not a clue the road that was ahead of me. When I got to the hospital, I got life flighted to the nearest trauma center. I found out I had a C5, C6 spinal cord injury. What is a spinal cord injury? I had no idea. Thought in a couple weeks it'd be good to go. After my 7-day stay in ICU, I got transferred to an inpatient facility, rehab facility. In that rehab facility is when I found out what a spinal cord injury was and what it affected. My whole body was affected. I could not do anything. I couldn't move my arms, couldn't move my legs. I couldn't feed myself, couldn't shower myself. I could not do anything myself. For a 19-year-old, that's some hard shit to handle. I hit rock bottom. I kept asking, why me? Why would this happen to me? I was a perfectly fit 19-year-old, just starting my life, just graduated high school. And then this. Did I cry? Yeah, I sure did. I cried like a baby. But I realized we're all human. In true strength, you show struggle. I had a choice. I could give up or keep going. I could give in to this injury and let it defeat me. But that just wasn't in my book. I remember waking up in the middle of the night. Honestly, I remember the time. It was 1:30 in the morning, 1:37. And woke up out of a dead sleep. I didn't sleep very well because my mind constantly was thinking. And I kept saying to myself that night I woke up, "Zach, this is on you. You can cry all you want. Your parents can't do this for you. Your friends can't do this for you. It's on you. You gotta do it." I didn't give myself a choice. That night I made a pact with myself that we're going to do this and we're going to defeat all the odds. How was I going to do it? I had no idea. But I was going to do it. And yes, I was in a very dark place. But I kept telling myself, this struggle is going to make you one of the strongest humans on the planet. I truly believe that. From that day forward, I had a new outlook on life. It was game on. And I believe my therapist and even my family saw the difference in me. I never missed a day of therapy, no matter how sick I felt, no matter how bad I didn't want to do it. I never missed a day. And I had a huge support system, but they couldn't fix it. I could. I was the only one to better this situation, like I said. I started making goals. I started making goals in my mind. I started writing those goals down. I started envisioning those goals. I started really feeling what I needed to do, what I wanted the next step to be. Even if it was as little as picking up a fork to bring the food to my mouth. I would envision it. I would feel it. I would dream it. Literally, that's what I would do. Even at night, I'd wake up dreaming how I was going to do this, how I was going to get my fingers to get around that fork to pick it up. Therapist wanted me to use all this adaptive equipment. It helped, but I didn't want to use it. I needed to do this on my own. Later on, I found out there's a word for this. It's called manifestation. And I did manifest that goal and many other goals. But that's how I did it. And I played this whole injury, as crazy as it sounds, I played this injury as a game. I love challenging myself. I always did love challenging myself. But I also loved when somebody told me that it's just not possible. Like when they told me I was going to leave the rehab facility in a power wheelchair. No way. I kept telling them, no way, I'm not doing it. They said, you have to, it's just not safe. You have to leave in a power wheelchair. Well, the work started. I envisioned it. I knew what I had to do. I started practicing after therapy, pushing my wheelchair around. I was going to leave in a manual wheelchair. That was the end of the story. The day I left in a manual wheelchair. But I want to step back. I had to really think about my inpatient rehab stay. I couldn't really remember it. The human mind is so powerful that I made myself block out that part of my life. I never wanted to go back to that past because I focused on the future. That's what I did. And I really wanted to think back about that because the struggles that I endured, I can't even explain. I don't know how I got through that time. Actually, I do know how I got through that time. Right there. My mind is what got me through that time. I had to push myself to the max. I didn't just do therapy 2 hours a day. I did therapy 8 hours a day. I was doing therapy after therapy, and then after that therapy. I worked harder than anybody. I truly believe I work harder than anybody in this world because I did. I didn't stop. But in life, you get kicked down sometimes. The day that a year after my accident, the doctor told me, Zach, it's time to move on. You've came as far as you can come. It's a year post, go back to your normal life. As normal as it can be. You're going to live life in a chair. You're going to need help getting dressed. You're going to need help eating. You're going to still need help transferring and moving around, going. That hit hard. Something that I didn't want to hear. And yes, I did go and I was depressed when I heard that. But I didn't stay there long. Because I love when somebody tells me I can't do something or I won't do something. Game on. I worked harder than ever again. I'm walking now and KFO braces. That's something that doctors said was never going to be impossible. Never going to be possible because I would never have the strength in my core to hold myself up. I would never have the strength in my arms to hold myself up. But this didn't come easy. I did therapy 7 days a week, 10 hours a day. And I'm not lying when I say that. I would rest a little bit, get back into it. Rest a little bit, get back into it. I would try different things. I would fail time after time. But I didn't give up. Getting in and out of my car with my wheelchair. Something that was said to be impossible that I'd ever be able to do myself. I sat in my driveway for a week straight. Practicing how am I going to get this chair in and out of my car. A few dings later, and about a week later, I got that chair in my car on my own and out of the car on my own. Because I envisioned it, I felt me doing it, and that's how I did it. You will fail. It's a given. But when you fail, learn from it. And enjoy the challenge. That's the only way it's going to be possible. And you got to have a little fun along the way. You got to enjoy it. Sometimes you got to laugh at yourself. But I get the question, how did you do it? How did you get to where you're at today? That is one tough question. And a question that I didn't know until a couple months ago. I really had to think about it. How I got to where I am today, doing what I'm doing now, is I didn't give myself a choice. I didn't give myself another choice. I work for what I got. It didn't come easy. There was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. A lot of falls, a lot of fails. But at the end of the day, you're the only one who can decide your future. And I learned that. And I accepted that life wasn't going to be easy, but it was going to be worth it. It truly was going to be worth it. I would become obsessed with a goal. I mean, absolutely obsessed. To the point where that's all I could think about is, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get up into my Jeep that's way up here? How am I going to do it? It seemed impossible. I failed. But I felt it and I did it. And quit saying, why me? You may never know why. Just do the damn work. That's all there is to it. Is you have to put in the work to get the results. I'm living proof of that. Life's not easy. Never will be. No matter what you go through in life, it's not easy. But it's worth it. One last side note. A year ago, I wanted to be able to stand up on my own in my braces from my wheelchair. It was impossible. I needed full assistance to be able to get on my feet a year ago. I told myself, you're going to do it. You got to work towards it. You're going to do it. Just 2 months ago, I stood up on my own from my wheelchair. Something that the medical field would never thought to be possible. The medical field knows the medical side of things. They don't know the heart and determination somebody has. And when you have the heart and get your mindset right, your body follows. It's just, I'm living proof. So I want to thank you guys for listening to me talk here. The sky's the limit. And once you get your mind straight, you become unfucking stoppable. And that's a fact.